Have you ever wondered why some people effortlessly build wealth while others, despite earning good money, remain financially stuck their entire lives? What if I told you that your biggest obstacle to wealth isn't your income, your education, or even the economy? It's your own psychology. Your brain is literally wired to make financial decisions that keep you poor. And until you understand these hidden psychological patterns, you'll keep repeating the same wealth-destroying behaviors, no matter how much you earn. Most people believe that building wealth is about math: earn more, spend less, invest the difference. But Morgan Housel's groundbreaking research in The Psychology of Money reveals a disturbing truth. Financial success has almost nothing to do with intelligence or knowledge and everything to do with behavior. You can have two people with identical incomes, identical opportunities, and identical financial education, yet one builds generational wealth, while the other lives paycheck to paycheck. The difference isn't in their circumstances, it's in their psychology. Today, I'm going to expose the 3 psychological traps that sabotage wealth building, reveal why your emotions control your financial decisions more than logic ever will, and show you how to rewire your brain for wealth instead of scarcity. This isn't about budgeting tips or investment strategies. This is about understanding the hidden psychological forces that determine whether you'll build wealth or remain financially dependent, regardless of how much money you make. Here's the first truth that will change how you think about money forever. You never make rational financial decisions, ever. Neuroscience research shows that all financial decisions are made in the emotional center of your brain, the limbic system, before your rational mind even gets involved. By the time you think you're logically evaluating a financial choice, your emotional brain has already decided. This is why you can know that buying an expensive car is financially foolish, yet still find yourself at the dealership signing papers. It's why you understand the importance of saving for retirement, yet somehow never have money left over at the end of the month. Your rational mind creates post hoc justifications for decisions your emotional brain has already made. But here's where it gets dangerous. Your emotional brain is optimized for survival in a world that no longer exists. It's designed to prioritize immediate threats and immediate rewards, perfect for avoiding predators and finding food, terrible for building long-term wealth. This creates what psychologists call present bias, the tendency to overvalue immediate rewards and undervalue future benefits. Your brain, literally, cannot comprehend the future value of money, the same way it comprehends present value. When you see $1,000 today versus $2,000 in 10 years, your emotional brain doesn't just prefer the immediate money, it can't even properly process the future amount as real. This is why lottery tickets sell, why credit card debt exists, and why most people never build wealth despite earning substantial incomes over their lifetimes. The wealthy understand this psychological reality and build systems to work with their brain's limitations rather than against them. They automate investments so their emotional brain never gets to make the decision. They create barriers between themselves and impulsive spending. They design their environment to make wealth-building behaviors easier than wealth-destroying behaviors. But most people fight against their own psychology, trying to use willpower and logic to overcome millions of years of evolutionary programming. It's a battle they're destined to lose. Wealth destroyer. Number 1, the comparison trap, 430 to 545. The first psychological trap that destroys wealth is what Housel calls the comparison trap. the inability to be satisfied with enough because you're constantly measuring yourself against others. Your brain doesn't evaluate wealth in absolute terms, it evaluates it relatively. You don't feel rich or poor based on what you have. You feel rich or poor based on what others around you have. This is why a person earning $100,000 can feel financially stressed if they're surrounded by people earning $200,000, while someone earning $50,000 can feel wealthy if they're surrounded by people earning $30,000. The comparison trap destroys wealth because it creates an endless cycle of lifestyle inflation. No matter how much you earn, there's always someone earning more, driving a nicer car, living in a bigger house, taking more expensive vacations. Social media has weaponized this psychological vulnerability. You're constantly exposed to curated highlights of other people's financial lives, creating artificial comparison points that make your own financial situation feel inadequate. The wealthy escape this trap by defining enough for themselves rather than letting society define it for them. They understand that the comparison game is unwinnable because there will always be someone with more. Wealth destroyer number 2, the control illusion, 5:45-7. The second psychological trap is the illusion of control, the belief that you can predict and control financial outcomes through skill, knowledge, or effort alone. Your brain is wired to see patterns even where none exist, and to attribute outcomes to skill, even when they're largely due to luck. This creates dangerous overconfidence in your ability to time markets, pick winning investments, or predict economic trends. The control illusion manifests in several wealth-destroying behaviors: frequent trading based on market predictions, concentrating investments in a few sure things, timing major financial decisions based on economic forecasts, believing that working harder automatically leads to proportional wealth increases. The reality is that wealth building involves far more randomness and luck than most people are comfortable admitting. The wealthy understand this and build strategies that account for uncertainty rather than trying to eliminate it. They diversify not because they can't pick winners, but because they know they can't consistently pick winners. They invest for the long term, not because they're patient, but because they understand that short-term outcomes are largely unpredictable. Wealth destroyer number 3, the story addiction, 7-8:30. The third psychological trap is what I call story addiction, the need to create compelling narratives to explain financial events, even when those narratives lead to poor decisions. Your brain cannot tolerate uncertainty or randomness. When something happens in the financial markets, you immediately create a story to explain it. The market dropped because of inflation fears, or tech stocks are rising because of AI optimism. These stories feel satisfying because they create the illusion of understanding and control. But they're often wrong, and more importantly, they lead to reactive decision-making. When you believe you understand why something happened, you feel confident predicting what will happen next. This leads to the wealth-destroying cycle of buying high when the story is optimistic and selling low when the story is pessimistic. The wealthy resist story addiction. They understand that markets are complex systems influenced by countless variables, most of which are unknowable. Instead of trying to predict the next chapter of the story, they build strategies that work regardless of which story unfolds. Understanding these psychological traps is only the first step. The real challenge is rewiring your brain to work for wealth building rather than against it. Strategy number 1, automate your psychology, 8:30 to 9:30. The most powerful wealth-building strategy is to remove your emotional brain from financial decisions entirely through automation. Set up automatic transfers to investment accounts before you ever see the money. This bypasses your brain's present bias by making future wealth building the default rather than a choice you have to make repeatedly. Create barriers between yourself and impulsive spending. Remove shopping apps from your phone. Unsubscribe from promotional emails. Design your environment so that wealth-building behaviors are easier than wealth-destroying behaviors. The goal isn't to rely on willpower, it's to make willpower irrelevant. Strategy number 2, redefine your relationship with risk, 9:30 to 10:30. Most people think about risk wrong. They see volatility as risk and stability as safety. But the real risk is not building wealth fast enough to maintain your lifestyle and achieve your goals. Reframe market volatility from scary uncertainty to the price of admission for long-term wealth building. Understand that short-term fluctuations are not threats to your financial security. They're opportunities for your money to compound over time. The wealthy don't avoid risk, they understand it. They know that the biggest risk is not taking enough risk, not taking too much. Strategy number 3, build anti-fragile money habits, 10:30 to 11:30. Instead of trying to predict the future, build financial habits that get stronger during difficult times rather than weaker. This means maintaining emergency funds that allow you to avoid selling investments during market downturns. It means continuing to invest during recessions when prices are low. It means building multiple income streams so you're not dependent on any single source. Anti-fragile money habits turn financial stress into financial opportunity. While others are forced to make desperate decisions during difficult times, you're positioned to take advantage of those same conditions. The key is building these habits during good times, when you don't need them, so they're already in place when you do. Your brain is not your friend when it comes to building wealth. It's optimized for survival in a world that no longer exists, and it will consistently lead you toward financial decisions that feel good in the moment but destroy wealth over time. But once you understand these psychological patterns, you can design systems that work with your brain's limitations rather than against them. The path to wealth isn't about becoming more rational. It's about becoming more strategic about when and how you allow your emotions to influence your financial decisions. Remember, building wealth is not about having perfect knowledge or making perfect decisions. It's about making consistently good decisions over long periods of time, and that requires understanding and managing your own psychology. If you're ready to stop fighting against your brain and start working with it to build real wealth, subscribe for more insights that reveal how money actually works in the real world. The choice is simple. You can let your psychology control your financial future, or you can take control of your psychology and build the wealth you deserve. Your brain will always try to sabotage your wealth. The question is, will you let it?